Okay, so recently it seems there's been a pretty big situation going on in the VTuber space, and this is all to do with a VTuber event run by the company Luminara. Now, Luminara are apparently a VTuber production brand, and they've recently hosted their second, I think it is their second VTuber Rivals event, which obviously, you know, has been very, very popular and is sponsored by Marvel Rivals themselves. You get a ton of VTubers in there, and then you obviously fight in teams to win a prize. I think it's like $3,000, right? And obviously it seems like a lot of people have been falling out over this for multiple reasons, including obviously allegations of cheating, going against the rules, and also as well some other kind of little bits and details that people were unhappy with the event about, which is kind of blown up into a massive mess right now. I'm going to be honest, there's so many different kind of accounts out at the moment, as you can see probably from my tabs. There are so many different people speaking up about this, and that's because so many different VTubers were involved. If you just scroll down, these were, if you scroll down a little bit further, these were all the different teams that were kind of involved. There's many different VTubers of many different sizes involved. I think the biggest one being like Haruka. I'm pretty sure she was playing, or she was supposed to play at the very least. There's also Alara doing the commentating. If you guys know her, obviously we do very similar stuff. Great content creator. And obviously, yeah, it seems like they had a big mix of different VTubers of different sizes, different kind of types and everything. Again, it's literally a big tournament, right? And obviously, Luminara have put out a set of rules, and obviously one of the rules was that it had to be teams of 6 VTubers, and 2 non-VTubers are allowed per team. Each team can have 2 subs. So yeah, obviously this was the rules for the teams and everything like that, as this is VTuber Rivals. It's literally got VTuber in the name. It's gonna have majority of VTubers, and I think that is incredibly fair, right? And obviously, well, it seems like that was broken a little bit, as this was the team that ended up winning, which was Team Legacy, which a lot of people are unhappy about due to the fact of their team composition, with a lot of them obviously saying that they actually benched 2 of their VTuber members and ended up bringing in more non-VTubers, which is pretty interesting. And well, there's been a lot of different kind of discrepancies and different kind of arguments made in terms of PNG tubers, which makes this situation even murkier, because obviously some people have been claiming that obviously they are a PNG tuber and that they technically count as a VTuber when they've maybe like streamed once or twice. And obviously then it goes into the different details and different kind of things of like, oh, well, does that count? Does this count? Again, obviously it can be very hard to run this event, and if anything, I feel quite bad for Luminara, because I understand how hard it is to run an event like this and keep it fair, right? I think the best thing you can do, obviously, yes, is kind of try to run it as close to the rules as possible and try to be extremely firm with what you're doing. But obviously it can sometimes be a little bit hard, especially whenever you're, having to deal with all of the people that we just showed here. Obviously there's a ton of different teams involved. It can be extremely hard to kind of run it, but at the same time, if you're going to run an event, especially sponsored by, a game like Marvel Rivals, I think obviously, yes, that's good. You're going to have to run it a little bit better than that. But again, obviously some people have been commenting on this saying, I'm so disappointed in how this entire situation was handled, to have 3 non-VTubers on a team that won in a VTuber based tournament where the rules clearly state a max of 2 non-VTubers were allowed is sad. Then to have it where some individuals were being rude and not practicing good sportsmanship by talking about each other behind their backs. Events like this are supposed to bring the community together, but instead bad practices such as lying and cheating are fostering a toxic environment without it ever being addressed. This was my first ever tournament as a VTuber. It discouraged me from ever wanting to participate in events like this again, especially if our voices won't be heard. But instead, issues are swept under the rug because of who is involved. Which, yeah, obviously this is pretty interesting, because many people are, speaking out about this. People that were actually involved in the tournament are saying that they were unhappy with what actually went on here, which I can definitely understand, that it wouldn't be very exactly encouraging to do more of these if you have some people that weren't VTubers obviously just kind of running not running the entire event, but you get what I mean, like taking over the entire event, winning everything, which obviously can feel very disheartening. And obviously they also mentioned the fact that there wasn't very good sportsmanship, which obviously was something that kind of occurred throughout the entirety of this kind of saga, I guess, of people talking about it. People saying VTuber rivals tournaments, 3 out of 7 players aren't even VTubers. Y'all need to be more strict next year in the rules. Like, what the hell? Why are non-VTubers competing? And yes, obviously, as I said, I think this tournament should have been kind of handled and moderated much better, and obviously they should have been way more strict on how they decide what a VTuber is, because as I said, it does get a little bit murky whenever some people say they use a PNG tuber and stuff like that, and different kind of VTuber adjacent things, and so many people argue that that is a VTuber, and obviously then it provides Luminara in a pretty difficult spot where they have to either get rid of them because they don't think it is, or maybe face backlash for getting rid of them. But again, obviously I think it should just be VTubers. I think obviously they should set out a very clear set of rules on what is a VTuber and what isn't a VTuber to count for next time, because again, obviously it seems like some people are bending the rules, and a lot of these players are really good Marvel Rivals players, or at least play Marvel Rivals on often, compared to a lot of these VTubers who I'm pretty sure don't play Marvel Rivals super often. It's supposed to be like a fun tournament thing, as far as I know, right? But obviously, yeah, there are some people who play Marvel Rivals pretty often in there, and that's clearly why they had a bit of an upper hand whenever it comes to winning this. People said I don't want to get too involved or anything. I'll say congrats on winning, but this is kind of messed up that a team that has multiple non-VTubers, non-content creators was allowed. Yeah, as well, some of these are non-content creators too. I looked up some of the names. I forgot which ones specifically. I don't want to call them out specifically, but some of them haven't really uploaded at all, or some of them have like 2 Twitch VODs and that's about it. They're not really a content creator, and also some of the accounts that they tag there, they have like 1 follower, no posts or anything, which I think is pretty crazy. And they say a rule was a set of 2 non-VTubers, but this is 3, none of which creates content either, which, yeah, is very, very interesting. People saying to see the disgusting behavior displayed by the winning team of the tournament is disheartening. My heart goes out to the members who were mistreated, benched, and had to endure what happened. In all honesty, their playstyle of itself was toxic, but to see their behavior too, it was a damn shame. Now, obviously, yes, you can argue that a playstyle is toxic. Whenever it comes down to the actual gameplay, I feel like, the playstyle doesn't really matter. They're just trying to win the game. I think any team would try to do that, even if they weren't a team of non-VTubers, right? I think any team, if they really wanted to go for that win, then, you would do whatever it takes to go for that win, right? And I don't think there's any kind of shame in that. But I think whenever it comes to being toxic off the field, I guess it's not really a field, but like off the game, then I do think, then obviously, yeah, it does become a problem, because again, you shouldn't be toxic in communications and things like that, right? We got even more. For example, this person saying, woke up and I've been told that not only Team Legacy, the team that I was benched from, is currently in finals, but apparently teammates from the captain's team from last tournament was flaming other teams for winning today because they got finals in the last tournament, as well as one of the members from this team, current team, told me that he was here to win and just get money, as well as name drop the captain, which I was purposely avoiding, which obviously, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Obviously, this is coming from someone who was obviously involved in it. Now, again, I haven't seen any clips or any kind of proof of, these messages coming out of them being toxic or anything. So again, I would really like to see that come out. But obviously, there is a kind of reoccurring theme here that they're saying that they're toxic, and obviously that some of them aren't VTubers or even content creators in the first place. They say, I kind of genuinely feel disgusted. She told me they weren't playing for the money, that no one was. I thought the best player on the team was super nice and a vibe, but I guess not. Honestly, I'm hurt by that too. I joined the tournament to play in a competitive scene and make new friends, and all I got was her. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I knew found lack of confidence and my time wasted. I want to join the next one, but honestly, I don't know if it's worth the heartache. At least I made 1 new friend from the team. Thanks for being a real world IDs to a story. So yeah, obviously as well, he has been a little bit kind of disheartened by that. And yeah, it seems like more people have been coming out saying breaking rules, subbing in another non-VTuber, making it 3. Some of the team members also make themselves look like fools. So again, everybody kind of reoccurring this. Now, this is another situation which was going on, but we will also go into that in a minute. Obviously, this is Luminara's response to this, though. They said, "We have investigated the situation related to Team Legacy and have decided to disqualify them from VTuber Rivals 2. During our investigation, the team admitted to the admins that they indeed had 3 non-VTubers on their team. Further investigation revealed other violations of tournament rules. There was miscommunication from a staff member responsible for verifying team who mishandled this situation and did not follow our guidelines on how to handle the team submissions properly. We're handling the situation internally and they have been removed. We have contacted Team Unemployed, Teams 9 to 5s, and Crab Rangooners and Trojan Horses to receive the prize in the order, as well as adding another $600 to the other team tied for 3rd place to compensate for the trouble this may have caused. We hope to continue handling the situation between the teams listed and ask you to please stop sending messages to talent or staff members who have nothing to do with the situation. There's a staff team dedicated to the event, completely unrelated to anything on the talent side. We do not condone any type of harassment in or out of Luminara." So obviously, yeah, that is their response to it. I mean, it's an alright response. Obviously, you know, they have gotten rid of Team Legacy, which I think is good for a lot of people, and obviously they're now handing the prizes to the other teams and actually even adding on an extra additional cash amount, which I think is good, right? That is a good makeup for that. But I think at the same time, I don't even know how this happened in the first place, right? I think it's extremely easy to check and double check teams and verify whether they are a VTuber or not. There should have been done way more done and way more done in the first place to verify them and to sort out the teams better. Because again, I don't know how this slipped through the cracks. I don't know how they didn't manage to realize, oh wait, they're playing with 3 non-VTubers, especially like in the final when, these are the only 2 teams you're focusing on. Luminara sat there watching and they're like, oh wait, hold up, these aren't VTubers, right? I think some people need to realize that. But again, obviously, hopefully they can do better. They said they got rid of the guy that did it originally. So maybe that will change it. But again, obviously, there's also some situations as well. For example, with this person called Rhyme VT. Now, I won't go too much into it, obviously, because it's a long read. But essentially, what happened was, there was these situations as well of these champion things here, right? Or the team things. They had these little screens where it showed off the team, and for the people that didn't submit an image or didn't have an image, right, they'd put the egg from Shrek there, right? And some people as well obviously didn't get tagged too, whether that's because they didn't have a tag and stuff. And obviously Ryan actually came out and said some things about the fact that they weren't featured on it and that they used this image for them, and obviously that can be pretty bad. But I think some other people also face the same issue, right? So that's also a problem that people had with this tournament, was the fact that they were replacing images, not tagging them and not giving them the credit. Because one of the big things about this tournament isn't just about playing Marvel Rivals and winning some money, right? It's about getting noticed. I think getting noticed is a really, really big part of this, and obviously just having more friends and stuff about in the space is also another kind of factor. And I think obviously, yeah, many people have been not very happy that they haven't been promoted correctly, because again, you could gain a little bit of a follower boost and gain a little bit more people coming over about that, which I think is definitely interesting. But finally, we have a point from Mochi Mochi, who is the captain of Team Legacy, who has now deleted their account. Now, obviously, I don't know why they deleted their account. It could be due to some harassment. Obviously, Luminara mentioned the fact that they were being harassed, and obviously that's terrible if that is the case. But also, they actually posted a Google Doc which came out responding to all of this, and Tech Tiger, one of the people that was benched, obviously has been talking about this quite a bit. And this was the Google Doc. Now, they said that the Google Doc was deleted in this post here, but I can still see it, which is pretty interesting. But obviously, here you can see it says My Truth, and they go on to talk about the situation, right? And I think it is pretty interesting because they break down, obviously, what a PNG tuber is and whether, they go into the real details and things, saying Luminara is using my team as a scapegoat to hide the misconduct and many faults in the tournament. While I understand mistakes happen, this event was not appropriate for a competitive tournament scene. Now, obviously, yes, I do actually understand that. I understand what they're saying there in the sense that this was not run well enough by Luminara, and that is 100% true. But at the same time, just because it's not run well enough doesn't mean that you should go behind the scenes and try to change a couple of VTubers out, right, in order to win. People saying, hello, I just wanted to clear everything up on my part in the participation of the tournament for Luminara. As you have already seen, Luminara have decided to DQ myself and my team from VTuber Rivals 2 tournament following yesterday's final. In that statement, they claim to have disqualified our team for having 3 non-VTubers on the team, and then advised that we broke more tournament rules following the investigation, but these rule breaches have not been communicated to me or my team, as Luminara removed me from the server. But before I begin, I want to highlight the full official rules that were listed for the tournament, which, okay, that is going to be pretty interesting to see. But yeah, also not very good from Luminara there. They should still be in contact with the team, despite, you know, whether they broke the rules or whatever. You should still at least talk to them and give them a little bit of an explanation, right? Yes, I can understand if they're sending you a ton of harassment or whatever, sure, then you can kind of remove them. But for now, it just seems like they just want some answers. Here are the rules that they actually put up. As you can see here, and they say Marvel Rivals online tournament, say when is it taking place, what happens if it disconnect again, we don't really care about that. What is the pick ban system, said what servers are we playing on, can I use mods, no, said can I stream, yes. When can I use the substitute? Substitutes will be able to take place of another member as long as they're swapping before rounds. I said who can substitute for subs? They can sub for anyone the same rank or higher. So again, those are the rules that they put up there, but again, obviously they said tournament rules were posted 1 day before the tournament, which is pretty interesting, seeing as we do have the rules literally on the on the Twitter here, you know, saying that they needed 6 VTubers, 2 non-VTubers. So we know that this is also the rules too. Now, maybe they could have done a better job at also supplying these rules on top of this one, because again, maybe they assumed that people already knew the original rules of it being 6 VTubers and 2 non-VTubers. So again, they probably could have done a better job at displaying that again, if that was the case. They said, as the team leader for the winning team, I felt it best to speak up as I've seen a lot of negativity towards myself and my teammates. First, I'd like to say my roster was submitted. The admin team for the event approved it. I would have been happy to make any adjustments if need be, but being the event organizers had approved the team, we felt there's no problem. Which again, 100% is another fault of Luminara there. Luminara should have done much better to kind of tell them that this was not okay. But also at the same time, I think, you know, they should have done a better look at some of the confirmations of the teams as well. And just making sure that, you know, they are following the rules. Because again, the rules are up there on Twitter. It's not like they are hidden or anything like that. Obviously, they say PNG tuber. They say the rules of PNG tuber / VTuber clarification was nowhere to be found in the main rules or announcements. So obviously, yeah, it seems like, you know, they're saying PNG tubers are okay as well. Only 1 non-VTuber allowed per team. And obviously, yeah, for some reason, people are saying like this. Mace's PNG that counted him as a VTuber is circled in pink. Which, again, I think that's pretty ridiculous. I'm not sure. They say this became a universal rule as Mace and Doki's team. Obviously, this was the last VTuber Rivals. Doki was in it. And yeah, I think that's pretty ridiculous, that being allowed. But again, obviously, they considered that. So I can understand why they thought it would be okay for other things as well. They said, strangely, the rule about what was considered a PNG tuber / VTuber was not added for the second Marvel Rivals tournament. And obviously, only I knew about this ruling. And they say Angad's PNG that counts him as a VTuber as Mace was previously. Which, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I feel like they should have done a better job at just kind of clarifying that and saying that, hey, you know, is this allowed? Is this not allowed? I feel like that just isn't enough to be included in a VTuber thing. And I still think this one isn't enough, to be honest. But at the same time, you know, I don't know. You know, so the main allegation is my teammate admitting Angad was not a VTuber. Kamana first asked a non-VTuber teammate of mine about VTubers when he has very little to no knowledge about VTubers. My teammate responded with, yeah, we aren't VTubers, but later says Angad is a VTuber, I think. I later called him and explained the difference between a PNG tuber and a VTuber and how a PNG tuber is different from a VTuber, but still considered a VTuber. Jesus Christ. So he was considered, he was confused. I immediately responded to Kamana and followed up with evidence that Angad XO was considered a VTuber via the first Grand Cup rules. There's no official ruling for it. So, yeah, I mean, what they're saying here essentially is that the rules were not explained clearly enough. Again, I think that is 100% valid. I think Luminara should have done a better job at obviously providing a more detailed rule set and including stuff like the kind of detailing of what is a PNG tuber, what is a VTuber, right? And Luminara should have done much better to enforce those rules, but it seems like that did not happen, and we've now ended up with this situation. Now, I don't think that obviously this Team Legacy or whatever are the worst team in the world who obviously have been doing a lot of bad stuff. No, I think that honestly, they were a team that wanted to win, and the rules weren't clearly explained to them. But at the same time, I do think there should have been a little bit more of, some kind of looking up of the rules here, because again, it does clearly say to non-VTubers, but again, then you have the argument of PNG tubers, and it gets so confusing, right? But again, I feel like, yeah, there should have been more done in general to ensure that this never happened, and I do think a lot of that does fall on Luminara to kind of do that. But hey, that is pretty much the whole situation that's been going on. As I said, it's a whole mess, and yeah, it's been a whole little saga that's been going on for the past day or so, but hopefully now it's probably come to an end due to this response from Luminara. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, I'm very interested in what you guys have to say. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to give them subs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.